Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chip and Chase, the NRL Fan Podcast. My name is Steve. This is Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hi, Steve. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
This is episode number 24, I think it is. Yes, episode number 24, where we'll be reviewing games from round 21 and then previewing games from round 22. And it was nearly a perfect round of tipping for me, Dave. Just the final game I got wrong, so I was pretty disappointed in the doggies, but we'll get to that one in a second. Let's get into some of the news that's just dropped in regards to some of the suspensions. Dragons forward Tariq Sims has accepted a 4-game ban for his high shot on Connor Tracy, which saw the poor bugger get stretched off the field. And James Fisher-Harris for the Panthers will miss 2 games after he took an early guilty plea for a careless high tackle.
Right. Does that rule Sims out for the year, or will he be back for the last game? Is that what?
Well, 4 games. Yeah. What have we got left now? I think there's 4 games left, aren't there?
Yeah. So
So
that's
if the Dragons don't make the semis, that's him done. I
the
think that's
last we'll
his.
see of him for the Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's the last we'll see of him in the Dragons jersey. But yeah, we'll wait and see just how the Dragons go. There's a few things to happen there at the bottom of the 8. But let's get into the first game of the round.
Yeah, it was a big round. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. Game 1 of the round was the Roosters up against the Broncos. This was played on Thursday night at the Sydney Cricket Ground in front of nearly 10,500 fans. And all in all, it went the way I thought it would. Roosters just too good. Broncos, well, they've been a good team this year. Patchy in when it comes up against some of the better teams in the competition. I know they've been in the top 4 for a fair few weeks, but Roosters showing their class and just too good for the Broncos. 34-16, the final score.
Yeah, we were set for a good Thursday night clash here, I think, with both teams right in touch with the 8. Chooks would just blitz them from the beginning, I thought. Tedesco had a massive game. He ran for 250 metres. And for the Broncos, that's back-to-back losses now, Steve. So, as you said, maybe starting to feel a bit of pressure coming up to the semis now. Now it's, I believe they've got a pretty tough run home too. So they've got a few of the bigger teams to go. But all in all, the Chooks were at their brilliant best. Broncos held in there. Angus Crichton had a massive game, man. He's a quiet worker, but he does a lot of work. I thought he had a really good game, and little Luke Keary had one of his best games, I reckon, too.
Yeah, the two old South boys combining there for a try. Yes.
What about the hit Joseph Sawali put on Ezra Mam?
Sawali's becoming known as a bit of a big hitter. He's really coming in and jamming in on some of these players, and really, for a 19-year-old, he's got a big hit on him. So he's really making a name for himself. This was 18-4 at halftime.
Yep.
And you could pretty much tell that the Broncos were on top, and the second half was pretty much the same thing. The Roosters getting off to a very quick start, scoring in the 4th and 7th and then 15th minute, and then 3 more tries in the second half. So, as you said, Tedesco had a big game. Corey Oates got a double for the Broncos, but beyond that, there really wasn't any answer that the Broncos had for what the Roosters threw at them.
Yeah, Nat Butcher also had a big game. He got a double for the Chooks and made 40-plus tackles.
Well done to the Roosters there, getting a victory.
Chooks.
They're looking pretty hot at the right end of the season, and
sure.
That's a scary prospect for the teams in the top 8. All right, game 2 of the round saw the Storm up against the Titans in what was always going to be a very tough affair for the lowly Gold Coast team. This was played at Amy Park on the Friday night, and it was pretty much as expected, 22-10 at halftime, and the Storm running away with it 32-14. Didn't have to do too much, just did enough, and while the coach might not be completely happy, especially with the Titans getting 14 points of their own, I thought the Storm were all in all, pretty clinical.
Yeah, I'm sure old Bellyache can deal with that win, 32-14. He'll get over it. But Look, Storm welcome back two big guns in Xavier Coates and Brandon Smith. So they were massive inclusions into this game. And for that fact, I think Storm just were too strong for the. Well, let's be honest here, Titans are right down the bottom, so it was never going to be anything but this.
What did you think of Munster playing fullback? Did you think it was a successful experiment? I know he's played there in the past in his junior years and what have you, and a few times in first grade, but he still had the 6 on his back, but played at the number 1. What did you make of that?
Well, it's hard to say no, Steve, to you because he scored a hat trick, mate.
Yeah.
So he played absolutely awesome. He's played a bit of fullback in his time, but getting used to the number 6 jersey there at the Storm. I don't think Munster Pappenhausen's got anything to be worried about.
No.
When he's fit, he'll slot back in 6. But I thought he performed really, mate. He went through almost 3 times untouched, just cutting him to bits, man. So
yeah, it's not a massive difference for him because he can roam around on both sides of the park and slot in where he's needed when he plays fullback. So I thought it was a smart move by the coach in light of all the injuries that they've got, and well done to the Storm getting a victory there against the Gold Coast Titans, who, as you said, sit right down towards the bottom of the ladder.
For sure. Sorry, I thought Cooper Johns had a really good game too that night. He had one of his best games I've seen him play, so well done to him too.
Exactly. All right, third game of the round, I should say, saw the Manly Sea Eagles up against your team, the Para Eels. This was a roller coaster of a game, up, down, up, down. You take the lead, we'll take the lead. What a game. It was a fantastic game to watch, very entertaining. It was 22-0 at half-time. Sorry, no, I'm looking at the wrong game. It was 14-all at half-time, I should say, with, as I said, the game going back and forth. But then the Eels, towards the end, scoring tries in the 61st, 68th and 71st minute, piled on points late to take it out to a more comfortable lead. But as a fan, you would have been sitting there thinking, geez, who's going to win this game? It really could go either way.
Yeah, for sure. It was back and forth, Steve. And the last time the Eels had won in Brookie was 2017. Wow. So we don't have a really good record down there. It was Wanga Blake's 150th game for NRL game. So he was looking to have a big one, and I thought that try he scored in the corner was absolutely. I didn't think he had it in him, but he done really, really well to get that ball down.
Kept his knees off the ground, and it was a really quick start by Para. It wasn't necessarily indicative of where the game was at because I thought Manly were on top early, but Para just scored some really good opportunistic tries through Sivo in the 2nd and 8th minute. And, and Manly were going like, far out, where's this come from? We looked like the better team. And then it proved to be the case with them scoring in the 20th, 28th minute to, bring things back to equal at the halftime break. But I thought Gutho really stood up and, with Mitchell Moses out, him and Dylan Brown really led the team around. And, and Jacob Arthur did nothing wrong. Early on, he was a little bit quiet, but then, late in the game, him and Penasini really showed that they've played a lot of footy together through their junior years and combined well.
They were really, really good together, man. Yeah, it was good to see the combination there. Steve, for Manly, I thought Jason Saab was probably the best player for them on the night. He absolutely blitzed us in that first half with his some of his speed and attacking prowess.
He absolutely killed me because I had him in my Supercoach team previously and he hadn't been scoring very well at all, and then this game he comes out and I didn't put him in. I was really upset. I was happy for him. He bounced back and had a great game, especially in light of recent controversies.
For sure, right? He ran.
What about that try, doing a somersault to get over in the corner? He's like,
crazy. That was a freakish try. I don't know, what happened there. But he got the ball down. He ran for 250 running meters, and I think him and Foran are starting to find a really good combination together. So, I believe Foran got injured towards the end of that game. Did he?
Yeah, something seemed to happen, and he went off there. But I thought for you guys, Sean Lane has been your most consistent player all year. Yeah, and he really stood up and had a blinder this game as well. I was upset for what's your lock's name scoring a try there that was disallowed. Ryan Madison, and blessed himself as quick as he could there to hopefully make the try happen, but it proved the bunker was not going to allow it.
Yeah, look, I think it's a bit of a weird one. Like, I mean, every rugby league supporter would say that should be a try, but by the letter of the law. Well, no, I mean, if by the letter of the law, any team should say, like, the ball got hit into him, and you'd like to say he regained control and possession himself and just put it down, but to the letter of the law, once it hits in and out a couple of times onto people's hands, it's usually classed as a knock-on. What about Dylan Brown, Steve?
Yeah, he's a great player. Geez, his running game was at the forefront for this game, and he's just stepping up. He's only still young, but he's really proving himself to be one of the star halves of the competition, and it bodes well for the New Zealand international team.
Definitely.
With him there with Jerome Hughes.
Yeah, he made 40 tackles that night as well.
Wow.
With all that running included. So good on you, Eels.
Well done, 36-20 over Manly. Yeah. And then the game that I was interested in, my boys, the Rabbitohs up against the Warriors. This game was played up at the Sunshine Coast Stadium in front of nearly 9,000 fans. And this was one of those games where I could finally sit back and relax watching a Rabbitohs game. It was pretty much a done deal early on. Lachlan Ilias scoring the first try. Damien Cook not long after. It was 36-6 at halftime to the Rabbitohs. And while they didn't necessarily go on with it in the second half, it was, it was a pretty good effort. And they just controlled all aspects of the game and were very dominant. And the Warriors really had no answer. So I was very pleased with the 48-10 victory.
For sure. Look, I think finishing 48-10, to me, they kind of went on with it a bit, but I get what you're saying. It's still a good finish to the second half. Probably not as good as he's wanted, but 48-10 is still a massive score to finish at. I always thought this was going to be a belting, but I thought Rabbits just turned it on, mate. Some of their attacking skills is a second to none, man. My standouts were Cam Murray. He's just an absolute machine.
He is.
Latrell Mitchell scoring 24 points, 2 tries, 2 assists, 8 out of 8 kicks. And Cookie and Matangi was in beast mode for years again that day, mate. Yeah,
Chloe Matangi is a great player as well out on the edge. Also thought Lachlan Ilias had a pretty good game. If anything, Cody Walker was a little bit quiet, but when you've got all your other spine players standing up, including your captain and Totola there getting a try as well, it's a great effort. And even Alex Johnson only got managed 1 try out of all those 8 tries that they scored.
Unbelievable.
So everybody else was getting tries this game, and that brings AJ up alongside guys like up into that top 10 anyway of try scorers.
Look, I think he only needs 40 more or whatever. I'm sure he'll get it in a couple of years.
Yeah, he's doing very well. So well done to the Rabbitohs, getting a good victory there up against the Warriors. It was what was a one-sided affair.
Well done, Rabbits.
Next game was the Raiders up against the Panthers in a fiery affair. Panthers, even without Cleary, Luai and Kikau, still managed a 26-6 victory down at GIO Stadium in Canberra in front of nearly 17,000 fans. This game never reached any great heights. It wasn't anything fantastic to watch because it was pretty much the Panthers all the way, other than Josh Papali'i getting the first try in the 8th minute. Everything else after that was pretty much all the Panthers. There was 2 sin bins, Nick Kotrick in the 40th minute, and then James Fisher-Harris, as I said, in the 31st minute. 14-6 at halftime to the Panthers. But this game will go down in history as the game that Jamin Salmon kicked one of the Canberra... one of the Canberra boys in the Jats Crackers.
One of Ricky's boys.
And I think it might have been Wolford. And after the game, Ricky had a lot of nasty things to say about Jamin Salmon from some history that they've got between him and Ricky's son or something down the track back in 2010 or something like that.
Have we got some video to show?
No, I don't of what he said, but he called him a low-gutted dog. and said that he'd always, as a kid, he'd been a low-gutted dog, and as a person now, he was still a low-gutted dog, whatever that
Yeah.
means. But yeah,
I saw it today, and I believe it was weak-gutted dog.
Weak-gutted dog, that's it, yes.
Yeah. Very, very personal.
Ugly.
Very ugly. He later came out and apologized swiftly, saying, he's let everyone down and it was just a heat of the moment thing and whatnot. But look, Ricky's been fined over $120,000 in the last 10 years. So, I mean, he's never had a filter. So he just said what he wanted to say. But I think he definitely crossed the line, making it too personal, and instead of just saying, look, our boys.
But that's typical Ricky, isn't it? And whenever the Canberra Raiders don't do well, he kind of glosses over his team's performance and makes it personal somewhere else, whether it's a referee, whether it's something, another player, what have you. It's never my players 100%. Weren't good enough on the day. He's always 100%. Got to sidetrack the circus with something else.
And let's be honest, Raiders at home again, fighting for a top 8 position.
Exactly.
Just couldn't find the desire or the hunger to come and turn up for that. Everything was on the line. So, look, Panthers were absolutely awesome. Little Sean O'Sullivan and Jamin Salmon actually had really good games. So maybe he wasn't too happy about that because they're just two young halves combination. You know what I mean? They don't even have Cleary and Luai in there. And Api Coruscant was unbelievable, man. The leaders really led that day in the older boys, I thought, for the Panthers too.
You know who really impressed me in this game was Dylan Edwards. He looked busted the whole game. Every time he stood up after a tackle, he was holding something. And yet he just went on and on like the ever-ready bunny and just never stopped. He just kept going and going.
He doesn't die, man. A couple of times I'm like, this bloke's got no right to get up anymore. And he just kept bouncing up and going harder and harder. So, yeah, real tough little player, that one, Dylan Edwards.
Good effort. Panthers, even without their major stars, still too classy for the Canberra Raiders, who, as you said, were fighting for their lives in this competition. They just couldn't put it together. Yep. All right, the next game that we're going to have a look at was the local derby, the Dragons up against the Sharks. Sharks at home in front of a 11,427 fan base. This was at PointsBet Stadium. 24-18 was the final score. It was a close affair, 18-6 at halftime to the Sharks, but the Dragons showed that they have still some hunger and fight in them and were pretty desperate in the second half to try to claw back that deficit, but nevertheless, the Sharks proving too strong. Another back-to-back victory for them after winning against the Rabbitohs in Golden Point last week. Hines stepped up and was just fantastic. He got the first try there and got 4 out of 4 in his conversions as well. And it was just the Dragons tried their best, and they're still up there and abouts, and maybe haven't given up hope on mathematically kind of making it, but the Sharks just wanted it more.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's a fluke that the Sharks are up there. No. Fitzgibbons really got him going the right way this year. It was a bit of a shame for the Dragons. I was kind of hoping they could win this one to keep their seasons alive. But as you said, Nico Hines had a really, really good game, I thought. And little Braden Trindle, Tricky is back, mate. So the son of Daryl Trindle, I believe.
No, I don't think he's related at all.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's definitely not the son.
Okay. Right. I thought it was some relation to Daryl Trindle. Well, I'm pretty sure I saw something about it, but we'll have to check that again. I'll have to check my source on that. So, but either way, he had a really good game, I thought, for him slotting in that position.
Yeah, and unfortunately, here Tarek Sims, that's the hit that that saw him get sin binned and put on report, and now he's missing the 4 weeks as for the remainder of the season. He was very upset and concerned.
I know. It was an accident.
Yeah. But he just got to change his technique, and it's not the first time. I mean, he's been sin binned quite a few times this year.
Recently too.
So he's there's something about his technique that he needs to change, lower his tackle target.
Yeah, for sure.
But as you mentioned, Trindle there, awesome for the Sharks. And they're just too good, taking home the game 24-18 at the end result. So
well done to
the Sharkies. All right. Next up was a game that sadly I missed seeing any of this because of my own coaching responsibilities. But the Dogs
Yep.
taking a game to Bundaberg, Salter Oval, in front of nearly 8,500 fans against the Cowboys. The Bulldogs going up early, I believe, with an early start.
10-0.
Taking the game, 10-0 at one point. And then the Cowboys clawed their way back 10-all at halftime. So it was really anybody's game, you felt. But knowing the Cowboys and the way they've been playing this year and where they're positioned on the ladder, I thought their class would come through in the end, and it proved to be the case. The Bulldogs still not doing themselves or their fans, any disservice. They're still playing a really exciting brand of footy and pushing the Cowboys a fair way throughout this game, but 28-14, the final score.
Yeah, Dogs playing for pride only still in this season, so they want to finish the season strong. They can't make the 8, but Cowboys, they're the real deal, man. They're not slowing down, and I thought Drinkwater was absolutely brilliant, scoring a double.
Yeah,
that fiery bloke Ruben Cotter, mate, he ran for 185 meters, and yeah, he's a bit of a beast and made over 30 tackles. Burton had a really good game, I thought, and young Carraz, mate, he's starting to really light up that sideline there for him.
Yeah, he's come on leaps and bounds as a young player on the wing there for the Bulldogs and has a bright future ahead of him, I think. And Josh Adokar scoring in the first minute would have been a bit of a shock to the Cowboys. But at halftime, as I said, 10-all, it could have been anyone's game, but the Cowboys too good at the end. 28-14, winning that and keeping their premiership hopes alive with a good victory there, putting them still in the top 4. And then the final game of the round was the one and only tip that I got wrong this week. I could have had a perfect round and catch my way up that ladder on the tipping comp, but unfortunately the Tigers not good against the Knights. This game never reached any great heights. 14-10 was the final result there at Campbelltown Sports Stadium in front of nearly 10,000 fans. Yeah.
It was 13 versus 15, so
yeah, I mean,
we weren't expecting much out of this one.
Fantastic, but 14-0 at half-time to the Knights, and they didn't score any more points in the second half. Tigers tried to fight their way back. I believe Dewey had a pretty good game, but you just wonder where these teams are from week to week. I thought the Tigers were better than the Knights the way the Knights have been playing in recent weeks, but Knights just able to get the points on the day.
Just able to hold on. Knights finally getting a win. I think it's been a long time in between drinks since their last win. So, just doing enough. I actually watched this one, and being like almost the most boring game, but it was actually a good finish. It was like, it was quite... They were in it all the way to the end, the Tigers, and a shame they couldn't get home with the 2 points. Brett Naden, man, I feel like he's doing some good things out there for the Tigers, and he's always can find the white stripe and get the ball down. Adam Dewey did have a big one, but Tex Hoy had a really, really good game for the Knights, and Jaden Brayley as well, I thought, done outstanding. He topped the tackle count with 49 tackles.
And Denari Tuwala there getting a double for the Knights. So well done to Newcastle, finally getting a victory and beating the Tigers 14-10, and that wraps up round 21.
How do you think that felt for old Adam O'Brien?
Oh, the coach of the
win.
Knights. Yeah, he would have been pretty happy getting the win there. He would have been marking this one in his calendar from a couple of weeks back, thinking, surely we can get a victory here. Tigers is, in our kind of class of teams we are at the moment. He would have been hoping and praying for a victory. And now that shows us where we are on the ladder after round 21. And the Titans still sitting at the bottom of the ladder, and the Panthers still sitting at the top of the ladder, with the Cowboys getting a victory, also getting to 32 points. Sharks 30, and the Storm on 28, sitting fourth. Also on 28, just out of the top 4, is the Parramatta Eels, followed by the Rabbitohs and the Broncos on 26 points apiece. and the Roosters sitting on 8th on their own on 24 points, leaving Canberra just outside that 8th spot on 22. Manly and the Dragons both within hope still, 20 points. And then, as we keep saying, draw a line under that because the Bulldogs, the Knights, the Warriors, the Tigers, and the Titans make up the bottom of the ladder.
Yep, that's the ladder after round 21.
All right, so now we look ahead to round 22 of the competition, and we look with interest at this very first game of the round, which is going to be a bit of a cracker of a game. The Panthers up against the Storm. This was played on Thursday night at 10 to 8 in front of Penrith's home fans at Bluebet Stadium. First versus fourth, and I'm unsure about this game because, yes, okay, Cleary, Luai, I don't know if Kikau is going to be back in or not, but still the halves missing for the Panthers. Storm still missing a number of players of their own. Both teams getting a victory on the weekend. Being that it's at Panthers' home ground, I'm going to go Penrith.
Okay. Well, all I've done while you were speaking that whole time is just think about it. So I'm going to go Storm here. I think Cameron Munster's on fire, and I think Craig Bellamy will give him the right game plan to beat the Panthers this Thursday night.
That'll be the only other team other than the Parramatta Eels who have beaten them then if that happens. So
Correct.
Parramatta having beaten the Panthers twice this year. We'll wait and see. That's an interesting game, the first one Thursday night.
Yep, for sure.
Then the second game of the round, Friday, 6 p.m, is the Warriors up against the Dogs. This is played at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland, 14th versus 12th. Warriors didn't show me anything, while the Bulldogs are still playing an exciting brand of football. I'm going to go Bulldogs.
Yeah, you have to go with all the talent in the Dogs at the moment. Doggies for me, please.
Okay, so both going Dogs on that one. Then the grudge match between our two teams, the Eels and the Rabbitohs. This one played at CommBank Stadium on Friday at 5 to 8. A big clash. The Eels have not won against the Rabbitohs in quite a few years, but they're primed, still without, obviously, Mitchell Moses as the halfback. Rabbitohs off a good victory against the Warriors. This is a tough one. I'm thinking, I don't know, go with my head, go with my heart. I still think the Rabbitohs can do it.
Yeah, look, Rabbitohs are a bit of a bogey team for us, so it is a bit of a tough decision. But you beat us first time around this year, and you beat us badly. Like, it didn't just beat us; you beat us hard. So I'm tipping the Eels to get square in this match.
All right, well, that'll be interesting, and I think will be one that we'll be discussing next week with
for sure
a lot of passion. All right,
for sure.
Then the Roosters up against the Cowboys. This one also on Saturday at 3 p.m. At Sydney Cricket Ground, 8th versus 2nd, and Roosters are really hard to beat at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Are on fire, but so are the Cowboys.
Yeah,
and I really don't know which way to go here. I'm going to go Cowboys.
Fair enough.
Roosters are favourites on the with Sportsbet on the market.
Yeah. I'm just sorry. Just give me a tick to think about this one. I think I will be. It's a good game to start Super Saturday.
Yeah, it's a big game, huge game.
Put me down for Roosters, man.
Okay. Just
for the fact that it's at their home.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
Then the Tigers up against the Sharks. This one at Scully Park in Tamworth. Wow. The Tigers taking a game away there. Can't hurt their chances, I guess, but I'm still going to go Sharks.
Sharks, man.
All right, less said the better. Then the Broncos up against the Knights. Broncos sitting in 7th, Knights in 13th place. This is at Suncorp with a 7:35 p.m. kickoff. Broncos, easy.
Broncos to bounce back.
Yes, definitely after that performance. And the Knights, while they got a victory, I don't think they can match it with the Broncos.
For sure.
Game 7 of the round sees us back at GIO Stadium in Canberra. The Raiders up against the Dragons. This is usually a bit of a big clash. The two teams do well against one another, and Ricky's boys, have they been sidetracked a little bit with the circus happening after that post-match conference? The Dragons still mathematically in there with a chance. This is 9th versus 11th. They're both kind of just outside the 8, wanting to kind of scrape in if they can. Don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to go Dragons.
This
Actually,
should be
no, I don't know. No, Raiders. No, Raiders, because it's at home.
This should be a good one, man. Like you said, both are still playing for something. Both teams needing the 2 points to move up just a little bit on the ladder with not long to go in the season.
And they'll both be watching that Roosters game against the Cowboys with, real interest, because that's the team that they're trying to get off that bottom of 8th spot.
For sure. Who'd you go for? Raiders?
I changed my mind. Raiders, yeah.
Okay. You have to say Raiders.
Yeah.
Being at home,
Yeah.
they have. I think that'll just give them the edge to play for more that day. All right.
Let's move on here.
Yep.
Last game of the round. This is the 4:05 Sunday kickoff. Titans at Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast up against Manly. Manly victory.
Yeah, no brainer. Manly will come back with a big bounce back, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree there. So that sees the end of the round 22 tips for this week. Some interesting matchups. Bottom 8 positions up for grabs.
It's getting exciting, mate. It's getting really exciting now.
We might have to next week, do like a ladder prediction. One of those when you look ahead to see where teams might finish off. And whether or not our prediction for the wooden spoon will prove true. But
sounds good.
Yeah, a lot of things still to happen. There's, as we said, 4 weeks to go before semi-finals. Looking forward to seeing where this weekend's results land. But for now, thanks, Dave. Appreciate you joining me again for another episode of the Chip and Chase podcast.
Always my pleasure, Steve. Thanks a lot, guys and girls, and we will see you next week.
Yep, thanks for your company. Get out and support your team if you can this week. David and I will be at the Para Eels game. Para Eels versus Rabbitohs game. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Don't talk to me, Steve.
Yeah, not friends for this week. All right, everyone. Thanks again for your company. We'll talk to you next week. See you then.
See you, Steve.
Bye, Dave.